Okay, we've been working through the unit on quadratic functions and equations in Khan Academy. This practice is going to be strategy in solving quadratics. So we're going to be trying to bring together everything that we've done, um, including solving with factored form, taking the square roots, vertex form, um, and quadratic formula. So completing the square. So lots of different choices on what to do and how to solve. So we're going to look at which ones work in which situations. So of course I haven't seen these. This kind of gives me whatever it's going to give me. So Ingrid and Harish were trying to solve the equation x squared minus 3x is equal to x plus 1. Ingrid said, first I'll subtract x from both sides, so I have x squared minus 4x equals 1. Then I can solve by completing the square. If I add 4 to each side, I can rewrite the equation as x minus 2 squared equals 5. And Harish said, I'll isolate the x squared term by adding 3x to both sides of the equation. Then I'll solve by taking the square root. Whose solution strategy would work? So let's look at both of these, okay, and what they do. So first we have x squared minus 3x is equal to x plus 1. And Ingrid said she'll subtract x from both sides. And she'll end up with x squared minus 4x is equal to 1. And then she's going to complete the square. So we're going to take this half of negative 4 and square that. That's negative 2 squared, which is 4. So we'll add 4 to both sides. We did this before. And we'll end up with x minus 2 squared equals 5. And then, of course, we can take the square root and add 2 and get our solution. So this one looks good. And Harish says I'll isolate the x squared term. So we start out the same way. And then we're going to add 3x on both sides. And we're going to get x squared is equal to 4x plus 1. And then he'll solve by taking the square root. So if we take the square root, then we're going to get x is equal to square root of 4x plus 1, and that doesn't really help us. It doesn't give us a solution, so this one is not going to work. So our answer here is only Ingrid. Okay, let's read this next one here. Tori and Gavin were trying to solve the equation x plus 1 quantity squared minus 3 equals 13. Tori said, I'll add 3 to both sides of the equation and solve using square roots. Gavin said, I'll multiply x plus 1 squared and rewrite the equation as, and I'll subtract 13 from both sides, combine like terms, and solve using the quadratic formula with a equals 1, b equals 2, and c equals 15. So let's see how they do that, whether they work out. So this time I'm gonna write a t over here and a g over here, so we know who is who. So Tori says she's going to start with x plus 1 squared minus 3 is equal to 13. She's going to add 3 to both sides, so she'll get x plus 1 quantity squared is equal to 16, and then solve using square roots. Take the square root. X plus 1 is equal to 4, or x plus 1 is equal to 5, and then so x is equal to 3. What did I just do? Negative 4. And then x is equal to negative 5. So x is equal to 3 or negative 5. So this one looks like it gives a good answer. Gavin says, I'll multiply x plus 1 squared. I think he means he's going to distribute it out. So we'll start with x plus 1 squared minus 3 equals 13. So he's going to have x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 3 equals 13. And then I'll subtract 13 from both sides, combine like terms, and end up with x squared plus 2x minus 15, and solve using quadratic. For quadratic, x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root of, I probably should not have, I probably should have gotten a new piece of paper here. So we'll do this using the coefficients they've got here. So negative b is negative 2 plus or minus 2 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a, 2 times 1. And this is going to be equal to, let's see, we've got 4 plus 60, so 64. And that's going to be 8. So we've got negative 1 plus or minus 8 over 2, negative 2 plus or minus 8 over 2, or negative 1 plus or minus 4, and no, over. Okay, so that's also going to give us 3 and 5. All right, so that one appears to work as well. So we'll say both. Let me go ahead and get a piece of paper here. Okay, Emma is on this side and Hunter is on this side. Emma and Hunter were trying to solve the equation x squared plus 8x equals 2x minus 8. They both have the same equation. They both agreed they should first subtract 2x and add 8 to both sides to get the equation. So they both do the same thing over here and get 8x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. I'm just checking to make sure that that works. We're not making mistakes. Then Emma said, I can complete the square. I can add 1 to both sides to rewrite this equation and solve using square roots. So he's going to add 1 to both sides, say x squared, plus 6x plus 9 equals 1. And then we'll get x plus 3 squared equals 1. Take the square root of both sides, get x plus 3 equals 1, and x plus 3 equals negative 1. Subtract 3 here, x is equal to negative 2, or x is equal to negative 4. So those are our two answers from Esma. So it looks like that works for her. And Hunter said, I'll factor the left side of the equation. Probably what I would have done. X plus 2 times x plus 4. And he's factored that correctly. We've got 2x plus 4x is 6x, and 2 times 4 is 8. So we can say x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x plus 4 is equal to 0 using the zero product property. Either this is 0 or this is 0. A times b equals 0. One of them is 0, right? So x is equal to negative 2, or x is equal to negative 4. whose solution strategy would work. We're going to go with both. Both look like they're good. Put my check mark here. Okay, and on our last one, a piece of paper so I don't end up with that situation before. I've got Ayana and Leia here, and they both start out with x minus 5 squared plus 4 equals 16. Ayana said, I'll take the square root of both sides and rewrite the equation as x minus 5 plus 2 equals 4. Well, right here, that's a problem because you can't take the square root of this one plus the square root of this one. That doesn't work. So already Ayana has made a mistake here. Okay. So square root of a plus b does not equal to the square root of a plus the square root of b. That's not going to work. Except in some strange situations. And we can show that because I can say, let's see, if a is 9 and b is 16, then the square root of 25 is equal to 5. But the square root of 9 plus the square root of 16, that's equal to 3 plus 4, which is 7, and that is the wrong answer. So we can't do what Ayana did right here. Leia said, I'll isolate. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So we have x minus 5 squared equals 12. Then I'll solve by taking the square root. And we can take the square root and say x minus 5 is equal to positive or negative square root of 12 and add 5 to both sides. And we'll have our answer. So that one looks like it works. So Leia is our only correct person. So I hope that's clear about how to do strategy in solving quadratics. We'll keep working through videos for each of the practices.